A common pattern seen in many web and mobile applications are transient messages that display information to the user. So for example, I'm here in the Gmail web client, and I'm going to go here and delete this draft message here. So I'll go there and hit the delete button, and we can see that when I do that we get this transient message over here that's going to disappear automatically after a certain period of time, or I can dismiss it before it disappears by tapping on the close button. So this type of message, called a transient message, can now be built easily in Alpha Anywhere. So let's go now to, say, the UX component, and while I'm going to be showing it in the UX component now, the transient message feature is available in the grid as well. So we'll go now and we'll add a button to our UX component. We're displaying the button inside a panel card, and I have mobile preview turned on. So we'll go to the button, we'll add a new action, and we'll choose the message box transient action over here. So now we can basically go here and type in the message, and so I'll say something like record was saved, and then I can position the transient message in several different locations. So I can position it at the top of the screen, which would be top center, top fill, which means at the top of the screen but fill the entire width of the screen. So this is a pattern typically used in mobile applications. Top left, top right, that's all self-explanatory. The center of the screen, then etc. And this last action, this last position inside existing transient message is used when you want to basically bring up a transient message, and then at some point while the message is still up, replace the content with something else. So for example, the transient message might come up initially saying working, please wait, and then after a while when the action is completed, it will then say completed. So the position is a powerful set of options here, and then once you've chosen the position, you can choose an offset both vertically and horizontally. So for example, if you were to choose, say, top left, you could specify a vertical offset of, say, 50 pixels, which would move the message down 50 pixels from the top of the screen, and then horizontal offset would move the message further to the right. The duration is defaults to 5 seconds, but you can set it to whatever duration you want, or you can set it to -1 if you want the message to stay up and wait until the user dismisses it. Then you can have some built-in appearances. So the Google appearance creates a transient message with a black background, but you can choose default, which would use the style sheet for the component to define the appearance of the transient message, or custom, which will let you completely control the appearance by defining your own CSS, class name, and inline style. Then you can specify whether animation is going to be shown when the transient message is shown and then dismissed. So let's go ahead now and run this. So we'll go there, save this, and then go over to working preview now, hit the button, and our transient message appears now at the bottom left, and you can see that after 5 seconds the message goes away. If I bring it up again now and dismiss it early, I can then basically see it go away. So we've shown now how you can easily create transient messages, but you can also put your own actions on buttons inside the message, and we'll pick that up in the next video. So we're continuing now to look at transient messages. So let's go now and change the position of the message from bottom left to bottom fill, which is something that is more appropriate for, say, a mobile application, and certainly this is the pattern that Gmail uses on their mobile app. And I'm also going to turn off the close button so that the message is going to stay up there until it dismisses automatically. So we'll go ahead there and hit this save, and then we'll switch over to working preview. And now I'm going to go and tap the button. So I tap the button, and oops, I see that I did not set it to bottom fill. So let's go there and change that now. So we'll go back here and change it from bottom left to bottom fill. Click the OK button. Go back now and we'll run it. So we see now that the transient message fills the width of the screen. It doesn't have a close button, but it closes automatically after 5 seconds. So let's go now and put some buttons inside our transient message. So let's go back to design mode, and we'll go now and we'll click on the message buttons, and we can put as many buttons as we want. So let's go here and add a button. We'll maybe make the HTML, we'll make it say undo, and then we'll put in some JavaScript here that basically says alert undo the action. So we'll go ahead and save this now. We can also specify a inline style for the button or a sub-theme for the button. So for example, with the alpha style, we have sub-themes like confirm and deny, which you could then just use over there. So we'll go ahead now and save this, run the component. So we'll go ahead now and press the button, and we can see now that we have our transient message now with an undo button in the message box. So we'll go there, press the action, and there's our JavaScript action running over there. So the ability to add buttons into the transient message is very powerful. So finally, basically what I'd like to do is demonstrate how you can put up a transient message, and then at some point while the message is still up, change the contents of the message. So let's pause now, and we'll pick that up in the next video. In this video, we'll show how you can dynamically position a transient message inside an initial transient message. So this use case over here demonstrates the need to do that. So for example, I have a button over here that's going to display a transient message. So you can see the message comes up and it says working, please wait. And then at some point when this operation is complete, I want to go and replace the content of that transient message with another message that will then disappear after 5 seconds. So let's go and take a look at how this was done. So I'll go back to my first message, and I can see here that what I'm doing in the first message is I'm storing in this variable here the name of this initial transient message. So I've created an arbitrary variable name. I put this variable inside dialog.object so that there's no problem with polluting the global namespace. So this variable message1 is going to be inside the dialog object, and then when I display my second message, I set the message position to be inside existing transient message, and then I specify the window name of the existing message as the name of the variable that I captured for the first transient message. So this message now is going to display inside the window for the first message. So let's go ahead and run this again now. So we'll go over now to working preview.